Welcome back, everybody, to the betPARX studio here at the Parx Racetrack on the 6th floor. This is Mark and the Maniac, a Week 6 edition. I'm Mark Feldman. He's Maniac Malloy. Maniac, we got a new setup. We're sitting in new spots, but it's still the same old Mark and the Maniac show. Excited for a Week 6 edition with you, buddy.
I'm excited to be on the 6th floor here at Parx Racing, doing what we do best, which is chop it up. Try to give the people some winners. Try to keep the people informed on some of the promotions we got on the betPARX app. And we've been rolling lately.
It's been promotion central, and I love it.
It's been really good. I got to just jump right into it. How you feeling after the Phillies loss today?
Yeah, let's try not to talk about that topic too much.
You don't want to talk about it.
It's going to make me cry. I can't believe Jeff Hoffman threw a slider to Austin Riley. He was speeding with 98 up in the zone. I'm a little devastated, but by tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning, the day of Game 3, I'll be ready to go. 1-1. The Phils got the split.
I could barely get out of bed today.
Yeah, it's sickening. Sickening.
Trey Turner, huge error.
Twice.
He's bad at shortstop.
Was he always this bad? I felt like he didn't used to be this bad as a defender in L.A. and Washington.
I feel like what has happened is that, he's played different positions besides, short in his career. He played a little center field. He's played some second base. I don't know, man. My prediction is by 2025 or 2026, he's not the shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies. He'll be on the team, but I don't know where he's going to play. He can't play shortstop.
Well, that's a hot take, and my hot take is Phils in 4. They're getting it done. Even though it was sickening, they're going to win both home games and win this series against the Braves.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot. But
let's move on to some football because that's what we mainly talk about, pro and college here on the Mark and the Maniac show. And Week 5 in the NFL has come and gone, and there are some teams that are really starting to stamp their ticket to the Super Bowl in terms of being the top odds.
They're stamping their tickets.
Top odds teams to go to the Super Bowl on the betPARX app. We got 5 for you. San Francisco 49ers at plus 400. The Kansas City Chiefs at plus 550. The Philadelphia Eagles plus 700. Buffalo Bills plus 900. And the Miami Dolphins round out the top 5 at plus 1,000. Out of those 5 teams, Maniac, who do you like right now would be your pick of those 5 to go and maybe win the Super Bowl?
Well, I would probably look at the tier of the third and fourth choices. Maybe do a $100 on each of those teams right now, and obviously that's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. I think the Buffalo Bills, they're due to finally break through eventually, right? Josh Allen is really, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and at plus 900 odds. They've seemed to kind of right their ship a little bit, but then they kind of slip up this week against the Jaguars in a goofy game out in London, which I don't really think you can test the barometer on how far this team's going to go based off of that game alone. And, if anything, it's helping you get better odds on them. And they're going to be around in January. They've played the Chiefs pretty well off and on. How much do you trust the Dolphins? They mopped the floor with them, a team that everybody was on as a Super Bowl favorite only 2 weeks ago. So I think the Eagles are right on pace. No Super Bowl hangover. They're hitting their stride. Jalen Hurts is starting to get it going. I like the Eagles, and I like the Bills as my 2 Super Bowl, future wagers if I had to today out of these top 5. How about you, Mark?
I like those choices. I'm at the mindset, though, where until someone beats this team, I'm picking this team. And that's the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 550 on the betPARX app. You have Patrick Mahomes and you have Andy Reid. And the NFL, in my opinion, is all about quarterback-coach combo. And they have the best coach right now, and they have the best quarterback. And it doesn't matter what type of wide receivers the Chiefs have. Mahomes can make me and you work there. We could probably have 100 yards with Patrick Mahomes playing quarterback.
I could probably go for $150. Probably.
Yeah, you probably could go $150. I'll go 100. Yeah, maybe 90. But then I think at the end of the game, I'd have a nice 10-yard screen route. So,
okay.
But we'll have to try that out a later time.
Do you think you could honestly get 10 yards on a screenplay in the NFL?
No, I think I could get 2.
2? I don't think you could get any.
Well, if I had good blocking. All right, we're getting away from it here, but I would go with the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce. If he's dating Taylor Swift, if he's not dating Taylor Swift, it doesn't matter. He's the best tight end in football. And Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, I can't think of a better triple threat So I would take the Kansas City Chiefs right now. You mentioned that the Bills will play the Chiefs and they play them well. If the Bills beat the Chiefs in the regular season, maybe I'll change my opinion. But right now, I would pick the Chiefs out of this top 5 at plus 550 on the betPARX app. So let's move on here.
What do you think about the 49ers, though, for real?
I just don't trust Brock Purdy.
Still doesn't trust Brock.
I do not trust Brock Purdy. I know he had the big game against the Dallas Cowboys.
He's looked pretty good.
He has looked good.
Purdy.
I would take the Eagles over the Niners in the NFC.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out here in a couple
We are.
weeks.
December 3rd, they play each other here at the Link.
Before you know it.
I can't wait for that game. So we talked about the top 5 teams that could go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Let's talk about the biggest frauds in the NFL through 5 weeks. Or
the
after
frauds
5
list.
Weeks.
This is one of my favorite parts of the show. The frauds list.
You were excited when we went in this rundown. So let's do a couple of this or that. Who's the bigger fraud? Let's start right here. The Dallas Cowboys or the Baltimore Ravens? Maniac Malloy, who's the bigger fraud?
I think the bigger fraud is going to have to be the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Shady said it last year. Dak is ass. I mean,
you love that line.
He's worse than ass. I mean,
what's worse than ass?
Trash. He is garbage. He is horrible, dude. He's horrid. He's putrid. 3 picks in a primetime matchup that I was actually really excited to watch that game, and it was apparent early on that this was going to be a snooze fest and that the Cowboys, they don't even belong on the same field as the 49ers. It was great cheering for the 49ers to beat the Cowboys because as an Eagles fan and, you know, wanting to win the division, that is a paramount right now for the Birds and their fans. So that was great to watch, but I kind of was hoping for a little bit of a closer game. The Cowboys are absolutely number 1 on my frauds list. Dak Prescott being the number 1 responsible for them making the number 1 on that list. And the fact that just because you lose Diggs in the secondary, your entire defense, which was supposed to be this, you know, defense world-beating team, just because you lose one guy, you're telling me that that entire team just crumbles on the defensive side
Diggs
of the ball?
might need to go to the Hall of Fame. He's so valuable.
Yeah,
at this
he might
rate.
need to go to the Hall of Fame.
It's ridiculous how much they've suffered since he left. Got hurt.
They've had no answers since then, and that's why they're my number 1 pick as the fraud of frauds. How about you, Mark?
You said it exactly right. I think it's between the Cowboys and the Ravens, it's absolutely the Cowboys. That game against San Francisco was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. 3 picks from Dak. He looked awful. The defense gives up a bunch of points to a guy I don't even believe in that much in Brock Purdy. The Cowboys are the biggest frauds, and I think the Ravens will pick it up in a little bit.
They're close second. I think that the Ravens, yes, they've had some injuries.
They got Nelson Aguilar playing wide receiver. I don't know what else you can expect.
Did you see that drop he had?
It was a typical Eagles drop back in the day. PTSD.
What the hell is wrong with him?
His hands were out like here instead of bringing it in.
He's just got a case of the, you know, perpetual just drops. And I don't know. It seems like that's just kind of, you know, what the Ravens are. They got they got Zay Flowers, Odell Beckham. I mean, how old? He's done. I mean, I think he's cooked.
Since he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl against the Bengals, he's been done.
Mark Andrews is hurt every week. Their offensive line is banged up. I mean, typically they've got
Dobbins.
And at the end of the day, I mean, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't make it move.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I believe in Lamar a little more than you do, but I don't think the Ravens are anything special. I don't think they'll win the AFC North. That was a terrible loss to the Steelers in Week 5, and they were awful. Lamar had a terrible pick. So I agree that the Ravens are right up there. Now, one more briefly. Who's
the honorable mention?
Honorable mention. Well, it sounds based on the pre-show chat, we might disagree here. Bigger fraud, Lions or Dolphins?
I think the Dolphins are for real. I don't even think they belong on this list at all.
That's crazy. I'll get to it in a second. Go ahead.
I would say a team that you got to watch as a potential fraud team is going to be the Detroit Lions, because everybody is just on Jared Goff like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC, and that is yet to be proven. I think he doesn't strike any fear into me at all. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's a nice player, a little banged up. Their running game, it's been pretty good. Their offensive line, one of the better ones in the NFC. But Jared Goff, you know, he's not a world beater. I like to throw that term around a little bit. The Lions, they don't scare me. I think you could see them trip up a little bit once they start playing some tougher teams. I think they're on the watch list as a potential fraud team. They're not a confirmed fraud team yet. But the Dolphins, they don't belong on this list at all.
The Dolphins absolutely belong on this list, and I think they were exposed in a huge way in their game in Week 4 against the Buffalo Bills. I do not trust the Miami Dolphins defense. They are top 10, in the top 10 in completion percentage allowed and yards allowed. They give up a ton of passes. If you have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field like Josh Allen did to Stephon Diggs, Miami can be exposed. You get a little pressure on their offensive line. Yes, I admit, Tua is incredible. Yes, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. They're a freaking track team. They're so quick on offense. I respect that. I think without Jalen Ramsey, I think the Miami secondary is very gettable. I think they're not that good. I don't see them winning the AFC East. And I think the Dolphins are a little fraudulent, and that's where I'm going to go right now. But speaking of teams that stink, let's talk about this. It's Tuesday. We're recording this on a Tuesday.
We've hit the cream of the crop. We hit the frauds list, which could be like the middle.
Now we're going down low.
Down low.
Apple bottom jeans.
We're going apple bottom jeans. Low. Okay.
To the worst teams in the NFL. So it is Tuesday. It's
and you know why this is important, right?
Why is it important?
For betting. You got to know who the worst 4 teams are in the league week in, week out, and, see if you can hit it. See if you can hit it on the spread, put together a nice little parlay. That's why we're talking about this. So go ahead, Mark. Take it away.
It is Tuesday when we're recording this, and that means it's Power Rankings Day. So we took a look, and the 4 worst teams in Power Rankings according in the NFL and what their games are going to be this week for Week 6. The New York Giants are plus 14 at the Buffalo Bills. The Carolina Panthers, the last winless team. We talked about this on a previous episode.
They were my pick. You were the last winless team.
You would have won that bet.
I did.
Told the people.
I did.
You won the bet, and you told the people.
I won $50,000 on it.
There you go. We'll speak of the steakhouse later. Mm-hmm. That's on you. Panthers are plus 13.5 at the Miami Dolphins. The Chicago Bears plus 2.5 at home versus the Minnesota Vikings, and the New England Patriots are plus 3 at the Las Vegas Raiders. So 2 questions based off of this. Let's get to the first one here. Maniac Malloy, which team out of those 4 are you going to continue to fade in Week 6 and will lose this Sunday?
Well, I think it goes along with kind of what we said a little bit earlier. I don't believe that the Dolphins are frauds. You think differently. Mm-hmm. I think they're for real, and I've been saying it all year. The Panthers are a terrible, terrible NFL football team. They are just absolutely god-awful from their skill position players to their offensive line, defensive line, rookie quarterback. Let's keep fading the Panthers, and that's why I'm going to lay the 13.5 points as soon as you can this week. Get it in early because this number is going to be sure to rise. Give me the Miami Dolphins minus 13.5 at home versus Carolina. There's no way that they're going to be able to keep up with them if Miami starts to score, and frankly, I don't think the defense for the Carolina Panthers is really that good. They got a couple of guys, Burns, they try to say. I mean, they've looked bad, and their offense is not going to move the ball. Give me the Miami Dolphins, and let's keep fading the Panthers.
Okay. As I said, I don't think Miami. I think Miami's on the fraud list, but I think Carolina is the worst team in football, so I like that pick. Miami, I agree with you, is going to cover that. Yep. I am going to fade the New England Patriots. They are in turmoil. I don't know what's going on with Bill Belichick.
Could this be the end of Bill Belichick, you think, this year?
This could be the end of Bill Belichick.
I think he might get fired.
I think Robert Kraft has a serious decision to make. I don't know if he'll fire him mid-season, but at the end of the year, absolutely. They just lost 34-0 to the New Orleans Saints. Going out to Vegas is going to make no difference. Give me the Las Vegas Raiders. Lay the 3 points. I think the Patriots have no shot in this game. Not Derek Carr. Jimmy Garoppolo. Derek Carr used to be on the Raiders. Jimmy Garoppolo had a decent game on Monday Night Football versus the Packers, and I think that this is just bad New England. I don't even know if the Raiders are that good, but I think the Patriots stink. I think they have no chance. I think the Raiders could win this game by 15, 20 points, so I'm going to fade the New England Patriots plus 3. Now, out of these 4, Pat, wow, I just called you Pat. That's really scary.
Patty.
That's how I know this is serious. This is a
real,
serious
we're
question.
We're knee deep in it.
We both kind of agree. Let's just make sure we both. So you pick Miami to cover the spread. I pick Vegas. Do you think Minnesota or Buffalo could cover their spread as well in these 4 games?
I think the one team that you got to look at that could possibly turn it around and cover the points. I do like the Giants. They kind of had a bounce back against the Dolphins this week, but they not really, right? I mean, the
Not
game was a
really,
little
yeah.
closer than I think it
I agree with
could have been. I figured that they were just going to get boat raced and not be able to block a single defensive player on a rush again like they have for the multiple weeks leading in. And I thought Daniel Jones was going to be, getting himself picked up off the ground all day, but they seem to kind of right the ship. They got to go to Buffalo.
Yeah.
It's a
Sunday night football.
14-point spread. If anything, I like these divisional games. Something's wrong with the Vikings. They are really banged up right now with Justin Jefferson
IR.
on the IR.
4 weeks.
So no JJ. Bears look pretty good.
I need the Vikings.
My Bears look pretty good.
I need the Vikings
My
to show
Bears
up.
look pretty good. So, I mean, of all these games, give me the Bears at home
Okay.
with the 2.5 points.
Okay.
Let's ride the Justin Fields train. So I take the Bears over the Vikings. How about you?
I'm going to go with the Giants plus 14. I do think Buffalo will win eventually, but I just think 14 is a ton of points. Josh Allen is always hit or miss. You never know. And I think the Giants, after a bad loss in Miami, is going to come ready to play on primetime Sunday Night Football. All right.
So I mean, there's there's something to be said now. So you're not taking Miami to you think Miami still covers that number?
Yeah, I agree with you on
Carolina,
that. Yeah.
You think they're frauds? Okay, that makes sense.
Well, Carolina is like not even.
Well, this is a new part of the show we're going to introduce. This is the Fade Feldman part of the show. You've been on a roll. I've been betting against you for the last 2 weeks. You take the Cardinals this past week to beat the Bengals. Bengals, they handled them with no
Burrow
problem.
had a solid game.
Blue Jays you took last week to beat the Twins. I took the Twins. And I guess that was 2 Sundays now ago. You were all over the Steelers to beat the Texans, covering the 3.5. Texans made a mockery out of the Steelers. And that brings us to the upset picks of the week, our underdog moneyline picks.
Yep.
Am I going to be fading, following, or ignoring you this week on the betPARX app? Mark, let's hear your underdog pick of the week.
All right, drum roll, please. Mark's underdog moneyline pick of the week is the Cleveland Browns at home versus the San Francisco 49ers, the undefeated Niners. The Browns.
I got to stop you here because that's who I'm on too. So
That's trouble.
So I don't know what to make of that at this
That's
point.
trouble. Let me just say why I think the Browns are going to win. They're plus
All right,
185 money line on the betPARX app. And I think San Francisco's due for a letdown. They're coming off a massive, emotional, primetime win. And that's been a trend in this season's NFL. Week 1, the Chiefs, they're coming off a Super Bowl. They're red hot. They lose to the Detroit Lions. Week 3, the Cowboys, they're 2-0. They just destroy the Giants and the Jets. They lose to the Arizona Cardinals. Week 4, the Dolphins, they score 70 points against the Denver Broncos. They lose to the Bills. And last week, the Bills, coming off the big win against the Dolphins, they lose to the Jags. It seems when everyone around the NFL is high on a team, they lose. And I think everyone's talking about San Fran. They're the NFC favorite, the Super Bowl favorite. I think they're going to lose to the Cleveland Browns. And I think the Browns at home, their defense, they can stop Brock Purdy. And it sounds like you agree, which is either a good thing or a bad thing. I guess we'll find out.
Well, my breakdown of this is that Deshaun Watson's probably coming off a bye week where he just had about 50,000 massages. I think he's going to be loose as a goose. And, yes, I like the Cleveland Browns defense at home. And I'm exactly on the same wavelength as you in terms of the letdown. So if you got I'll take the Browns money line to beat
Browns money line, baby.
We're both on the same team. Oh, boy.
Oh,
all right. Now's where we get into the thick.
All right.
Your spread picks. Let's hear your spread pick.
My spread pick is a team I picked on last week's pod to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, you know what? We did we did
credit.
Zero in on your bad picks. But I mean, I did go out on a limb and fade you.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively. You owe me a cheesesteak. You owe me beers.
That might be today. The first part.
But yeah, you did have the Jaguars, and I thought you were crazy. I didn't bet that game, but I thought you were crazy. I kind of stayed away from that one, and you were spot on. So let's hear what you got this week.
Yeah.
You're going back with the Jags?
I'm going back to the well. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars at home, minus 4.5 against the Colts. No Anthony Richardson. The Jags are starting to play a lot better. Trevor Lawrence. Yes, he had the fumble issues against Buffalo, but I thought that their wide receivers with Calvin Ridley were really, Lawrence and Ridley were just on fire. Their defense was pretty solid, and I think the Colts have not enough. Besides Jonathan Taylor and maybe a little bit of Pittman, I think the Colts are going to give the Jags no problems. I think the Jags cover the 4.5, and that spread on the betPARX app. Maniac, who is your team that is covering the spread in Week 6?
Give me the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow -3.
So you're going back to the well as well.
I'm going back to the well, too. I think they finally got this thing right. Jamar Chase, monster week. Seahawks, they're one loss away, one bad loss away, maybe this game loss away. If they get drubbed, which they could on the road, they're on the fraud list. I think they might be on the fraud list after this weekend. And give me the Bengals -3. I get this one early before it goes up to 3.5, 4.5 points. So hit this one early. Give me Joey B. Burr, and the Bengals -3 at home versus Seattle.
Okay, I like that. Now let's move on.
Well, wait. So, I'm not getting a chance to fade you here because you got the Jaguars, which I kind of like that pick. And we're on the Browns together.
You don't have to fade me. It's not.
No, I have to. So I got to ask you, who do you like in the baseball playoffs today? Let's hear it.
Okay.
So
give me the Houston Astros.
Houston Astros on the road against the Twins.
Yep.
The Twinkies at +106. So you're taking the Astros at plus money 106. Okay.
Yep. And you have it up. I don't know the odds.
Baltimore Orioles at Texas Rangers +118 is the Orioles line, and it's -137 for the Rangers.
I just think you can't be the best team in the AL and get swept. Give me the Baltimore Orioles. Dean Kramer on the mound.
So you're taking both away teams.
Both away teams. So you're definitely going to fade one of them.
Keep going.
Well,
keep going.
You want me to pick tomorrow's games?
No. You said what you said. So you were giving a thought there. You had Dean Kramer.
Yeah, I think Dean Kramer
going to play inspired ball.
It's going to be inspired ball with everything that's going on over in Israel, and I think that the Orioles offense is due to kind of go crazy. Give me anytime home run Adley Rutschman. I think that's going to be a bet you got to check out on the betPARX app. He's going to hit a home run in Arlington, in Texas. Give me the Orioles as they stay alive and force Game 4.
Well, I'm really happy that we touched on this and you shared because I'm going to just fade
No!
you. I'm going to fade you on both.
Both?
And probably Adley Rushman to not hit a home run in the game.
My goodness.
Give me the Twins at home and give me the Texas Rangers at home. Parlay them two together. That'll be my money line parlay of the day today. Twins and Rangers.
Okay.
I'm fading you, dude. I'm going to have to do it. That's
I get it.
That's +206 on the betPARX app. So let's go Twins. Let's go Rangers.
All right, well, we shall see, and we'll talk about it next week. You mentioned parlays. Well, let's get back to our NFL Mark and the Maniac Parlay.
This is a Mark and the Maniac
This is we're agreeing on it. No fading, no picking out. This is a collaboration. My Instagram is fixed. I can collaborate, and we're going to collaborate right now. I'll give my pick first. In my pick for this Mark and the Maniac Parlay, give me the Ravens going over to London to play the Tennessee Titans. I know they're on your fraud list. I just think Tennessee is due for a letdown, and Baltimore after last week, they were horrible. I don't think Lamar can play any worse. I think the Baltimore Ravens cover the -4 on the betPARX app, and I think they get back in this AFC North race. Who are you adding to our Mark and the Maniac Parlay?
Well, first of all, this pick perplexes me very much because you've been on the Titans pretty much all year, and they've actually been one of the teams that you get picks right on.
I know. Now I'm bailing on them.
We talked about the Ravens as being on the fraud list, and you sort of agreed with me. I mean, maybe I was a little bit more vocal, but
well, this is just for this week.
Now,
the matchup.
in a tricky, weird game. I mean, I don't know. You got the hot hand with the London games.
Yeah.
You got the Jags right last week. What do I know? I'm going to roll with you, and here's a team that I'm betting on all year. I've been betting on these guys all year. I've been following them. I really like D'Amico Ryans, the coach, C.J. Stroud, Nico Collins, Damian Pierce on my fantasy team. Give me the Texans money line outright. Combine those two together. Ravens -4 and the Texans money line, and that's going to be the Mark and the Maniac parlay of the week, which I think we've gotten one of them right or two
I think
all
we're
year?
2 for 4.
We're 2 for 4 for the year?
So this is,
How could that be? How could that
we didn't do on week 1. We skipped it. So we've
2 for 4, but that would be.
We're 2 and 2. Excuse me.
We're 2 and 2.
Yeah, we've gotten 2 out of 4.
All right, we're 2 for 2. That's pretty good.
That's
One more win and we're professional.
Yeah, you get above 500.
2 more wins and
look out, Charlie. We're getting crazy.
Look out, Charlie.
So that's our Mark on the Maniac Parlay. Now let's update the people on our Packers-Bears
Yeah, make this
bet.
one quick because this is a long one. But and I mean, I'm not going to gloat, even though I should. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Packers lost 17-13 to the Las Vegas Raiders on Monday Night Football in Week 5. Jordan Love, you know he's my guy, especially due to this bet, but 3 turnovers, 3 interceptions. That was horrible. The Packers did not have Aaron Jones, though, and I think that's been a huge miss the last couple of weeks.
Making up excuses, okay.
Yeah, well, that's part of my job. The Bears beat the Commanders 40-20. That was a great win. Justin Fields looked awesome, and the Bears defense was locked down on Sam Howell. Got enough.
DJ Moore was just
that was
out of control.
That was the duo. So currently, the Bears 1-4. The Packers are 2-3. The Packers do have the tiebreaker currently by beating the Bears, but they'll play another time later in the season. The Packers are only a game up. And just like we always say, KC Prime is on the line.
KC Prime, stakes on the line. I'm feeling pretty good after this week. I think the Bears can win versus the Vikings this week. And,
do you?
We can make this thing, as close to tied up as possible. I think they can beat the Vikings at home.
The Packers are on a bye week, so the Bears have a chance to cut it to a half game.
Yeah, let's make up some ground here.
It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited to see that game with no Justin Jefferson, as we mentioned earlier. All right, it is time for Pat's Promotions. I just created this little segment.
Pat's Promotions.
What promotion are you looking at? Yeah, what do you think of that?
I like it.
Okay, Pat's Promotions. We're each going to talk about a promotion on the betPARX app. You're going to go first. What do you have for the people this week, and what's your pick for that promotion?
Well, the 33% college football profit boost bundle on the betPARX app. It doesn't get much better than this. You're going to opt in on the betPARX app and receive 33% profit boosts. One is a live profit boost. One is a same game parlay or an XGP profit boost. And then, of course, as always, the traditional parlay profit boost. This week for college football, I like 3 games. Give me Kansas -3.5 at Oklahoma State. I like Washington at home money line to get the win over Oregon. And give me UMass +43 going into Happy Valley. Should be a fun one to watch. That's going to be +517 on the betPARX app. You throw a 33% profit boost on that one, and we'll see how we make out next week. Mark, what's your promotion this week? Let's jump right into it. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's why I'm laughing, because I can't wait to explain the Prime Time Extra Down promotion. You got to opt in onto the betPARX app and place a 3 or more leg parlay on any primetime game. So that includes Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night. And my pick for this week is going to include the Sunday night game, the New York Giants at the Buffalo Bills.
It's time to crank up that same game parlay.
Crank up the sound. Sunday Night Football on NBC. All right.
Woo!
That's all I'll talk about right now. Win or lose, you'll be rewarded with a $20 bonus bet.
Damn.
Must be 3 or more legs with final odds of +300 or greater. So here we go.
And $20 cash bet.
$20 cash bet. That's right.
This is a great promotion.
This is like, we say
this
prime
might
time.
be the best promotion there is when it comes to pro football betting. Is it fair to say?
I think it's fair to say, and here we go.
Here's what you got. What do you got?
Here's my pick for and how I would use the primetime extra down promotion. Give me the New York Football Giants +14.5. I think they cover that.
Okay.
Give me over 44.5 total points in the game. I think Josh Allen is going to light up the scoreboard, and I think that the Bills' defense, they lost White, they lost Matt Milano. I think their defense could struggle. I could see a high-scoring game, but in the end, give me the Buffalo Bills to win in between a margin of 7 to 12 points. All of this.
Those are your 3 legs.
These are my 3-leg parlay. It's +1100 on the betPARX app, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills 34. I'm going to take the New York Football Giants 27. So that's going to be my final score, and that's how that would work for the Primetime Extra Down promotion. Now, I know you have a Primetime Extra Down promotion pick for Thursday Night Football. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mark. That is correct.
Funny how I knew that.
So here's what I got. Give me Patrick Mahomes under a half of an interception. So no picks by Patrick Mahomes on Thursday Night Football. Give me over 2.5 total touchdown passes thrown by Mahomes. Give me Rashee Rice over 29.5 yards receiving, and give me Travis Kelce over 67.5 receiving yards. That's going to be +1,000, and that's going to be my same game parlay of the week for Thursday Night Football.
I like it. I think both of our parlays are going to win, and I'm just feeling confident. I'm feeling ready to go. And you know what they say, Maniac? when you're having fun, time flies. It is time to wrap up.
Thank God.
You've had enough of me, haven't you?
No.
It is time to wrap up a Week 6 edition of Mark and the Maniac. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for checking out our clips. You got to follow betPARX on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. Follow us on social media. We have so much cool content coming up.
Cool content.
We got promotions. We got funny videos. We're going to have stuff for the Phillies, for the Birds, for so much. Anything else you got to say to the people, or is it time to say bye-bye?
It's time to say hello to Paul. Bye-bye, Seton Hall.
He's Maniac Malloy. I'm Mark Feldman. This has been a Week 6 edition of Mark and the Maniac, presented by betPARX.
Fade Feldman.